We have a beautiful Tuesday, we have some beautiful weather today. We have a lot on the agendas, probably one of the longest agendas that I've seen in several years. So what we're gonna do tonight, since there's so many items to vote on, after our police department speaks, we're gonna move into our renewal licenses, so we can get through that portion first, and then we'll go into the speakers second, just to kind of manage the time.
Frank, we're gonna do all of those. He is not, we've done what you're doing.
I said we're doing the vote.
Sorry,
Yeah, but
I'm not
Not
sure
just the
which.
liquor stuff.
Right, I
Okay,
understand.
all right.
That's what I said.
Okay, good.
So at this time, we're prepared to call the order, the roll call by our secretary.
6001,
Present.
6002,
She's absent.
6003,
Present.
6004 here, 6005,
She's absent.
absent, 6006, 6007,
Present. At this time, we're going to entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the adjustment being, we're going to renew the licenses first, go to the voting portion, and then do the speakers after the police department. Provide like a second.
Second.
Then probably moved and seconded that we move forward with the agenda with our renewal licenses first and our speakers second. At this time, we're prepared to listen to the MPD, 1D.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. You have a yeoman's job with that two-page agenda, so we'll do our part of everything very quickly. As far as crime statistics, the information quickly I'm going to give you is available to you, which you'll find very friendly on the MPD website. It's MPDC crime cards. Crime cards. You can cut that down. You can break down and have your crime reporting for as much as you want, as little as you want, broke down by either PSA or ANC area. Your crime driver continues to be theft from autos. And the projection, we just completed our summer forecast. If you're keeping in that, that's going to be your crime driver in the commission. What we're launching is a lock it, hide it, keep it. In the 90 percentile, we're seeing that these are out-of-state vehicles with electronics or high-value items that are left in plain view. This current group that we have is going in. It's not the guy going and getting change out of the ashtray. These are laptops. These are luggage. This is shopping that's being left in clear view. Individuals using and working in two-man teams. We do, as we're going into the, for the commissioners, for any outreach that you're doing to your constituents, any building managers we have here, putting those out, especially people are coming here in the summer to visit, making sure that you're keeping those items locked up inside the car, either inside the house or put inside the trunk. You have the one violent crime, that was the ADW knife, which occurred a week and a half ago. That was at North Capitol K Street. That was two transgender individuals got involved in a verbal altercation, which escalated with one of them being cut and taken to MedStar Hospital. Within 3 hours, we got the individuals identified, and we closed that case out on that. There's no particular nexus, and there's no warnings to the neighborhood. For the North Capitol and New York Avenue, 1200 block North Capitol, I know that you unfortunately has experienced some violence. We completed our outreach, making sure that the private owned camera that they had there has been repaired and is now fully operational. We've met with the security staff who are coordinating their private patrols with our marked units. And as we've seen in Mount Vernon Triangle with great success, has been the bike officer, Officer Green, focused officer. This is that the patrols, particularly in Mount Vernon Triangle area, we're looking to augment that with the days, covering an alternate schedule for his days off. But that's proven to be a very, very good model. We're going to be seeing that again on the North Capitol corridor, and then further down on K Street. Again, we've talked about the crime cards. Any questions for me? Sure. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Representation from 3D.
Sir, good evening, folks. I'm Captain Han Killen from the 3rd District. I'm one of the managers of Sector 2, which includes 305, 306, 308, and I'll concentrate on 308, your area. I'll start off with a couple of bad news, but hopefully I'll end up with some good news. We did have one serious assault on April 26th at 4:49 p.m. On the in front of 69 N Street Northwest. The adult victim, he actually responded there. Investigation showed he willingly responded there with a couple other subjects. They all seem to know each other from some sort of past history. They both came there in different vehicles. Some sort of altercation occurred, and one of the subjects actually branched the handgun and shot the victim. He was struck a couple times in the shoulder. He is okay, and And good news, as of yesterday, we did arrest the gunman. The other suspect was the gunman. Obviously, he was on the scene with the suspect. He's still outstanding, but again, the gunman has been arrested yesterday. With a couple of robberies, right on 1400 block of North Capitol. This happened at 1 in the morning. The reason I bring it up is we do have patrols there in the early morning. We must have not been in the area. Somebody was walking and just had a cell phone out. We've been getting a lot of these where people walk up or they're actually riding up on scooters and snatching the phone. So we are working on that. We ask you guys to kind of spread the word just to be aware of your surroundings, especially when you're walking that early in the morning. On 400 block of P Street, we had a victim walking, a subject wearing a black ski mask grabbed the handgun and took cash from that individual. Unfortunately, we don't have much on the suspect because he's wearing a ski mask. Our detectives are working on cameras, especially cameras that the residents have in that area. Since I've been going to these meetings in 308 in the neighborhoods, we've been hearing a lot of complaints or concerns from the citizens, especially the North Capitol corridor, the Hanover area, Bates area. So we have really been concentrating in that area because that's where we've been getting some of the multiple sounds of gunshots, a lot of drug activity. So I am happy to report we had our crime patrol units there, our specialized units there. And again, the one special unit block is Hanover. There's so much activity there that we found that everything's permeating from there. So we figured if we kind of put a stop to that, we have a good start on it. So on April 24th, unit block in Hanover, we had 2 arrests on that day. 1 arrest, a person with a warrant, the other person with a warrant and also had drugs. On 29th of April, 400 block of Rhode Island, 4 individuals are arrested. 2 of them were arrested. Each of them had a gun, 40 millimeter and a 9 millimeter. So those gentlemen and the guns are off the street. Back in April of 15th, we did have a shooting that occurred at 811 R Street, right by the metro station there. The victim actually we found of the gunshot was actually a shooter himself, so he was arrested that day. And then on April 30th, we were able to arrest the other individual. Again, unit block in Hanover on May 1st, we had 2 arrests there, 1 arrest for a warrant, and the second one for drugs. Again, on May 2nd, unit block of Hanover, we had 2 separate arrests, 1 for dealing drugs, did find quite a bit of drugs on him, and another individual for possession. And then these are where the sounds of gunshots come out. In the unit block of Hanover on April 30th, we had several gunshots. We responded. We did not locate the victim or any damage, so we did take a report. And then on May 2nd, same call came out. Citizens reported multiple gunshots. We responded initially. We didn't find anything, but this is where you guys really helped us out. The community came out. The residents came out and actually really got with the officers, gave us great information. We were actually able to retrieve some video of a lookout of this person. It just so happens this person, for some reason, returned to the area a little bit later as we were canvassing. We stopped the individual. We think he had some different clothing on, so we couldn't put the shooting on him, but we did arrest him for something else. And again, with the citizens' help, we were able to return that next day. He was connected to a property there that everyone was complaining about. And we were able to actually get 2 guns out of there, a 40 millimeter and 9 millimeter at extended clips, multiple scales, activity for dealing drugs. We found PCP, crack cocaine, so that individual is now barred from the area, and there will be multiple warrants coming out for that person. And also on North Capitol, as one be advised, we do have officers working with the community and also the business owners there. We have 3 bike officers that we rotate. Officer Hurst, Officer Ryan, and Payne. They're actually out there today. And there have been multiple arrests made on North Capitol as well. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you know I'm going to talk about the area. So I appreciate that you gave us the information about Bates and Hanover, but that is not our area. That's actually Ward 5. So I would love to have the same type of focus on, I'm going to say, Kirby, Morgan, and the alley. Because I'm still getting pictures. I just got a picture yesterday about a man with his pants down and all this type of stuff. There is action there. These people know they can get away with it because there is no police presence.
And man, I know you're frustrated. The reason I brought that areas up is because, like I said, it's just going outward, and we wanted to put a stop to those main things. And I understand your frustration. I get your emails, I get complaints from the citizens. So we do have officers going in the alleys, doing that. So please just continue to contact me. I promise you. I give people out there, I promise you, I will always get back to you. I'm not gonna leave you hanging, not contacting you back. So if you have any information that you want to get to, my information is listed on that roster there, my phone number, my email, and I will always get back to you. So please, if you have any information, details, when you email me, please give me as much detail as you can, and I'll get back to you. And again, to go back, we really are pushing for you guys to get those cameras that you'll be reimbursed for. It really does help us, and you guys the citizens have been terrific in just helping us. And I know we did get some complaints about the block party on 600 this past Saturday. We were aware of it. We actually sent a bike unit there. That bike unit was detailed there for almost the entire tour, except towards the end, things started getting crazy. But everything was legal up to that point. We had Sergeant Orjo actually there most of the shift. As far as the noise goes, they kind of have until about 10 o'clock in the evening to quiet down. Other than that, there was no illegal activity that they observed at the time, so we couldn't put a stop to it or make any arrests at that point. But again, you guys observe something when we're not there, please let us know, give us detail, and then we can.
Are they in the alley only, or on that private property, inside the fence?
Is that the one on Glick Court?
Glick Court.
Yeah, so we responded there, it looks like end of April, we got a couple calls. So when we responded, the officers again did not see any illegal activity going on there. They advised us that they would end the party at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., which they did. And yeah, that was it. And from what I've heard, they are staying within the confines of the.
What is MPD's position on individuals smoking marijuana in their cars but on private property? Somebody else's private property.
You shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to do that. No.
So if
So
you get that call, you'll respond.
Yes.
Okay. Any more questions from the commission? Questions from the audience?
Yeah, so coming back to the 600 block of Rhode Island. So I did check the property ownership records and noted that it's out-of-state ownership.
Yes.
For the property. Have we verified that the owner is aware of and is consenting to those parties taking place on that property?
I don't know that. As soon as I leave here, I'll get back with DCRA because they told me they were sending people out there and also sending a letter. I think I advised you that the last time I was here, but let me confirm that they in fact did that. And they're the ones that told me they were outside out of state. So I'm hoping. I didn't check up, but I'm hoping they did do that.
In California, and I've got a pretty good sense that they probably have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. So I have an email, so I'll let you know.
So that would be
Big problem.
So on the 600 block of O Street, so the understanding is that there was no public consumption of alcohol. It was,
Yeah.
during the party that was observed by the officers.
Exactly.
Okay, so we'll see how long that lasts. The incident in front of Lala Bella, 1608 7th Street Northwest on Sunday morning.
Yeah. I did, so, and this is not to pot it off or anything, so that area is actually Lieutenant Mack's area, so I've been working with her. I gave her all the information, and we're both working on it together, which is, easier for us. And it looks like Mr. Townsend, I think, got back to you, right? Since they're gonna monitor it at that point.
So the representatives from the owners are here this evening. They agreed to a reimbursable detail.
Oh, okay.
So on a permanent basis. So
great.
that should.
All right.
stay in the future.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Can you send me a little?
I will do so.
Great.
Question from the audience for the police department. Who's first?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Just wanted to clarify, are you able to address like issues around 7th and Rhode Island? Just the block?
Can you let me know?
So the United House of Prayer located at 7th and Rhode Island, right on that block.
Yep.
We are a congregation, been there about almost 90 some odd years.
Okay.
A few of the members just came to ask some questions around parking. Our members, receive a great number of tickets you know, we're only there from about 7:30 in the evenings to about 10, and then on Sundays, you know, obviously 10 a.m. to about 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay.
And their members are receiving excessive numbers of tickets, you know, on a daily basis, you know, when they come to participate at their place of worship. And so just wanted to get some clarity on parking hours, where people can and cannot park, and to ask if there's any sort of relief that our members could receive or assistance. We are members of this neighborhood. We've been in this neighborhood for quite some time, and we do not have huge parking lots, but that's the only place that we can park is on the streets. And so we would love to keep participating in this community, but it's very hard when members cannot.
Sure. Just real quick, is it happening in the morning?
In the evenings, so usually between 7:30 at night and at 10 o'clock, and usually on Sundays. And our pastor, Apostle Price, is here as well.
Okay.
They did have parking meters there, but I've looked and searched throughout the District of Columbia, and I find parking meters in front of any church. But they did, I can understand the business hours,
Sure.
and the parking meters were ending at 6:30, but now they've been extended to 10. So that brings about a problem within our congregation,
Sure.
having spaces to park.
Sure. And I'll be honest with you, on that, I haven't, because I normally see where we're giving the tickets and that sort of thing, and a lot of ours have been moving violation related. So let me check into that, because if that's DPW, they might be the ones that are ticketing those vehicles around there. And also in terms of changing or the times or violations and things, unfortunately, that's outside of MP's purview. That would have to be something that's brought up with the city. But let me, Amanda, did you want to?
No, I'll say something to him.
Okay, go ahead.
So I have a question for the United House of Prayer, and Frank is a member of the United House of Prayer. So I represent about 400 members of the United House of Prayer, and we have an enormous amount of parking problems, and there's some of my constituents in the back there. So I'm confused, if you could clarify, do you feel that your members should not get tickets if they're in violation? So I'm not sure what the problem is. If the car is in violation,
Well, the problem I'm saying, if you understand, the meter was put there,
yep, there
and
it
it
is.
was closed at 6:30.
Now it's changed.
Now the time is extended
Yep.
to 10.
All over the city it's like that.
Yeah, but no other church in the city has parking meters.
I go to St. Matthew's, and we have parking meters. So I'm sure there's many
What
churches
time do you
around
go-
here.
what time
I
do
go very early. I'm an early bird.
Okay, but
But
this one-
but the daytime
And that's
people.
what I'm saying.
So I don't think you can make that broad statement that no other church does. But I understand what you're saying, because I get complaints from all of my constituents, including church members. But I wanted to make that clear.
I'm curious why DDOT would actually change the signage from 10 to 6:30.
Yes.
It just seems like it's really overzealous on DDOT's part to change the hours to that degree. So I think we need to lobby Jeff Marudian, the director of DDOT, and use that avenue, because the signs come from DDOT, and DPW and the police department, they actually do the enforcement for the parking. So DDOT changed the signs. I think we need to go in that direction, find out why was it changed to 10 o'clock versus 6:30. It's been 6:30 for years. Why was it changed to 10:30? Why can't we get it changed back to 6:30 to give some relief to parishioners who want to worship?
So Frank, why not
Well,
change?
street is now
Let me just say
being
something.
closed, So everybody wants to park for free
Yes.
there. So that's why they changed it to 10, because they don't want to have everybody going to 7th Street or anywhere else. So it's just like being in the downtown. All the main street downtown, you have to pay for it. So why wouldn't just the church not pay and everybody else pay? We go to the restaurants on 7th Street.
So Frank, are you saying that there should be a lobbying to change, because it's church congregants, versus if I'm heading to some restaurant on 9th Street? Because that would be the entire area, Frank. You can't say this block of 7th Street or this block because of the United House of Prayer or whatever religious institution. They just citywide, this 10
Well, I
o'clock thing.
think above all that getting, we need to get some understanding.
Yeah,
And I think
but
that-
you're saying it's for
But what I'm
congregants
saying,
of the United House of
but what
Prayer.
I'm saying is, I think we need to go to DDOT and get understanding as to why, if it's indeed
You
just
and I
7th
will.
Street. I'm sorry.
Well, I would like to ask too.
Yeah, but I think we need to get a good understanding of why these hours are being changed to 10 o'clock, if they've been 6:30 for so long. I heard the gentleman who spoke, I think there was another gentleman here, Mr. Murray.
So good to be here in the meeting this afternoon. I understand the complaint that the pastor and his members have brought up. My only question would be, was that congregation and were citizens that live in that area consulted and informed before the signage changed?
No.
In addition to that,
No.
I understand that we don't want to treat anyone differently. We just want to treat folks fairly. And the difference here is that these congregants, they don't just worship on Sunday morning like some congregations do. These congregants worship on a nightly basis at a set time that starts at 7:30 p.m. Now, I'm not saying do something different from anyone else.
But
I'm not
St.
saying
Matthew's
that.
does done too. St. Matthew's is the cathedral, worships
It's-
7 days a week.
I have an appreciation for what you're saying, but I'm just making the point that that's what that congregation is going through, and all citizens deserve a fair shot to be heard and to be informed before things happen that affect them. And so I think that Commissioner Wiggins made a good point to get some understanding about how these things come up, and I'm very hopeful that the members of this council will be equitable and gather the facts before making an opinion, because I think they really matter. And talking to the people that it affects is part of it, and there are many people that it affects, not just that one congregation, but I think talking to all of them would really help.
Well, if it's Dr. United, I was praying you could do it for all the Catholics too.
It's a
I mean,
city
that's what.
ordinance, and if you can't abide by the city ordinance, then that's the consequences. I mean, we live in the neighborhood, we have people from out of town always parking on the streets in our neighborhood, and we cannot get parking as residents right in front of our own house.
A lot of the congregations are out of state.
Out of the city.
So they should get ticketed if they park illegally or they're not paying the meter. They don't even live in the city.
We have a long meeting.
The higher level discussion.
Yeah.
We're going to higher level. We gotta get going.
Yeah. I think one more comment here, because I have to move on, we have a long agenda for tonight.
So what I would say is, number one, when you purchase homes, you know there's no parking. There's no parking. So to whine about parking after you purchase a property and there's no parking, you kinda can't say that in
Well,
urban
it's the same
city.
thing if you go
I'm
to
not
the church, you
finished,
know there's
I'm
no
not
parking,
finished,
there's
I'm
no
not
parking.
finished. That's not, I'll finish. There are, other cities that deal with this different ways. So, a place of worship could request special parking, signage, whatever.
You can't do that.
Listen, anything can be done. Any
No,
rule
but
that's
that's
on the
what they can't
books
do.
can be, any rule on the book can be changed if there is a need for it. So, again, I'm just saying, you need to have a discussion, because the residents aren't gonna always get their way, and neither are the houses of worship.
But
It's
the
not gonna work
residents are
that
the
way.
one that pay taxes.
It doesn't matter. If
Oh, it
someone
does
comes,
matter.
it doesn't matter,
That-
because
no,
if it's a
that's a
service
poor
to the
argument.
community, whether it's taxable or not, some people need their spirit fed, and if they come in from another
Pay
city,
for
so
parking
what?
spaces.
That's the final comment.
That.
Provide parking for your congregants.
That's the final
Purchase a
comment.
property with a driveway.
We can have an entire meeting about parking, can we not, everyone in the room? Okay, here we go. Let's
We'll
move
try to
on.
invite DDOT to our next meeting to try to deal with some of these issues. We've got to move on. Thank you, officer. Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time.
Bye.
So at this time, we're gonna move on with our agenda. I'm gonna give it over to Mr. Padro for the renewal of Class C licenses.
Thank you, Commissioner Wiggins. We've got 15 licenses that we're going to be going through this evening. The ABC licensing committee reviewed all of these applications. There are only a handful of them that were deliberations or protests that were being recommended. So this should go relatively smoothly unless there are specific questions that are posed by members of the public or members of the commission. So we start with the Cambria Suites Hotel at 899 O Street Northwest. They actually have two licenses on location. One is for the second floor, the other is for the rooftop. There were no noted violations. There were no concerns that have been expressed by members of the community. This is in my single-member district. The committee recommended that the commission support the approval of this renewal. So I'll move that ANC 6E support the renewal of the two licenses at the Cambria Suites at 899 High Street Northwest, and report that support to the ABC board and Apple.
Second. It's been properly moved and seconded that we support the Cambria Suites, 899 O Street Northwest for dual license Class CD.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
It's properly moved.
Second is also at City Market at O. It's a convivial restaurant at 801 O Street Northwest. They only have one warning for a sale to a minor tester. No complaints from community residents. The ABC Licensing Committee recommended that the commission approve, support the renewal of this license. So it's in my single-member district, so I'll move that ANC 6E support the license renewal for convivial at 801 O Street Northwest, and we report that support to the ABC board.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that ANC 6E, Alvin, and
Alvin seconded.
been properly moved and seconded that ANC 6E support the CD license for convivial at 801 O Street, 6E01. ANC. All in favor?
Aye.
Been properly moved and seconded that ANC support the CD license.
Next, moving on to Bella Blow at 1608 7th Street Northwest. You probably heard the exchange that I had with Captain King. We do have representatives from Bella here this evening. There has been an ongoing concern from neighborhood residents related to patrons of the establishment lingering on the sidewalk and in close proximity to the establishment after closing time on the weekends, causing disruptions. This past weekend on Sunday morning, MPD had to be called, and MPD had to disperse the individuals that were congregating there. The owners of the establishment have been working with me on a number of provisions to improve the signage and communications with their patrons and increase security at the location to try to address the issues that have been noted. And they have also agreed to the establishment of a reimbursable detail on Friday and Saturday nights to ensure that their patrons do not linger and cause disturbances to adjacent neighbors. They have agreed to enter into a settlement agreement to ensure that all of these items are undertaken. So anything that the licensees would like to say? Okay. So the recommendation is that ANC 6E support the renewal of Alabama Glow's license at 1608 7th Street Northwest pursuant to the signing of a settlement agreement and establishment of a reimbursable detail Friday and Saturday nights at that location.
Second.
We report this to ABRA and the agency.
Got a second?
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Been properly moved and seconded that ANC 6E support Globe Alabama for their CD license as stated by Commissioner Parker.
Next, we have Giant Food at 1400 7th Street Northwest. This is a supermarket that is part of the City Market development. There were no investigatory issues was recorded in the most recent renewal period. Once again, in my single-member district, I recommend that full commission support the renewal of the license at Giant at 1400 7th Street Northwest, and we communicate that to the ABC board. And
Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Been properly moved and second, the ANC 16 support the season license renewal for Giant. That's stated by Parker.
And number 11, we took care of with number 7, both of the Cambria Suites licenses. Moving on to number 12, Bistro Bohème at 1846th Street Northwest, also has an address of 600 Florida Avenue. There were no negative reports from inspectors for this establishment, no concerns expressed by neighborhood residents, and the recommendation from the ABC Licensing Committee was to support the renewal of the license. Commissioner Brown is not present this evening, so on his behalf, I will move that ANC 6E support the renewal of the license at Bistro Bohème at 1646th Street Northwest, and we communicate that support to the ABC board.
Can I get a second? Been properly moved and second, the ANC 16 support Bistro Bohème. Is that address, you mentioned a different address?
Yeah, so there are two addresses, 1846th Street as well as 600 Florida Avenue.
Okay, you put that in minutes, okay? You all in favor, correct?
Aye.
Been properly moved and passed by ANC 60 that we support Bistro Bohème. That's stated for the CD license. Moving forward.
Moving on to number 13, Ottoman Taverna at 425 I Street Northwest. There were no adverse reports in the investigative history. Commissioner Marriott is not present this evening, but he noted no objections to the renewal of this license. ABC Licensing Committee concurred. And on Commissioner Marriott's behalf, I move that ANC 6E support the license renewal for Ottoman Taverna at 425 I Street Northwest, and we communicate that support to the ABC board. And
Second, beautiful. All in favor?
Aye.
Been properly moved and second, the ANC 16 support the CD license renewal for Ottoman Taverna for 425 I Street.
Moving on to number 14, La Betty at 420 K Street Northwest. Again, Mr. Marriott is not present this evening, but he indicated that he supported